shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Look at these temperatures heading out the door, teens and 20s. We'll talk about a bit of a warm up before we see our winter weather over the weekend.
Winter storm preparations. Duke Energy is getting ready for possible power outages ahead of the possible winter storm. How you should prepare in case your lights go out. And Henderson shooting. 3 people are hurt after a late night shooting. What police say happened that put a woman and a 7-month-old baby in the hospital. A lot to tell you about here on this Wednesday morning as we get you started at 4:30. We appreciate you waking up early with us. Let's get right to it. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center tracking our cold start and then more on our weekend system.
Yes, skies are clear right now, so our temperatures are cold. 25 degrees as you're heading out the door, and we have winds coming out of the southeast at around 5 miles per hour. So we are looking at a little bit of a wind chill across our area. We're going to take a closer look at that coming up in just a few minutes. We take a look at temperatures, though. We're going to be in the teens potentially up until around 8 a.m. and it'll be closer to 10 before we climb above freezing. This afternoon, our high temperature close to 50, which is not too far from normal. And we are looking at just a brief warm up for Thursday. If you're looking for a day to get outside, Thursday is going to be your day. We'll have rain in the forecast for Friday and then the wintry precipitation for us as we get into the weekend. So both Saturday and Sunday will be WRAL weather alert days. We're looking at a high impact winter storm that'll start during the day Saturday and continue into Sunday. And then the very cold temperatures will continue into early next week. So whatever precipitation falls will likely be with us for several days. We're looking at potentially some snow, but a lot of folks are going to see most likely an ice storm out of this. And that means power outages will be fairly widespread, most likely. Travel also will be hazardous. So you want to start to prep right now. And definitely you want to be ready to be in place for potentially several days once we get to Saturday and Sunday. We're looking at the potential for snow and definitely some ice. We could see ice even all the way up toward the Virginia line. The ice will be a little more prevalent, say from Raleigh southward. And we're going to talk a bit more about the pattern and what we're expecting coming up.
Elizabeth, thank you. With winter weather comes the risk of power outages, and Duke Energy says its crews are getting ready. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live in downtown Raleigh this morning. Kelsey, there are also things that people at home can do now to prepare.
Absolutely, Renee. This morning, the staff here at Duke Energy is preparing for that winter weather that we're expecting this weekend. It only takes about 1/4 of an inch of ice to bring a power line down. So Duke Energy will prioritize transmission lines and substations. This prep started months, if not years in advance, trimming trees, improving power poles, and adding self-healing technology. That technology pulls power from other sources in minutes in case a line goes down. It supports about 1 million customers across the triangle right now. Jeff Brooks with Duke Energy says you should have a plan for what to do if you lose power for an extended period of time.
That's especially important if you rely on electricity for medical needs, making sure you have a plan in place for where you could go if you lost power. Now, obviously, one of the challenges of winter storms is driving conditions. So that's why that having a plan in place is even more important in the winter.
And Brooks says if you need to use a generator at your house this weekend, make sure that you use it in a well-ventilated area. Don't use it inside or in your garage. Do not try to connect it directly to the power grid. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Cities and towns across Wake County are preparing for an all-hands-on-deck response to this storm. Crews in Wake Forest and Holly Springs have already gotten started laying down brine and testing town vehicles and plow trucks. NCDOT alone is looking at spreading 80,000 gallons of brine in our area. It will use at least 49 trucks and 127 employees. They say the type of precipitation we get, whether a mix of rain, snow, or ice, determines their response, including what gets spread, brine, rock salt, or sand. NCDOT will be out brining the roads starting at 10 a.m. WRAL has the largest, most experienced severe weather team in North Carolina. Stay with WRAL for live team coverage of weather and traffic conditions now and through the weekend. It's a good time to make sure you have the WRAL News app to track this winter weather. We will have updates on WRAL TV, WRAL News Plus, online, and in our newly redesigned WRAL Weather app. Make sure you have breaking news and weather alerts turned on so you can get important updates right to your phone. Police are looking for a person who shot 3 people, including a 7-month-old baby in Henderson. Police responded to a call on Wester Avenue just before 9 p.m. When they got there, they found a man, woman, and baby who had been shot in a car. Police say the victims were parked in front of a home when an SUV pulled up and someone started shooting. A 24-year-old woman and the 7-month-old baby were taken to the hospital. Police say at last check, both were alert and aware. The other victim was a 24-year-old man who refused medical treatment. Today, the teen charged in the 2022 mass shooting in Raleigh's Hedingham neighborhood is expected to plead guilty to all charges. Austin Thompson's lawyers filed a notice of intent to plead guilty yesterday, less than 2 weeks from the start of his trial. Thompson is accused of killing 5 people, including his brother, and injuring another person. The notice says Thompson's brain injury makes it difficult to explain why he did this, but that he has always accepted that he did. Families of the victims say the expected guilty plea is a welcome surprise. Robert Steele's fiancée, Mary Marshall, was killed in the shooting. And while he's trying to move forward with his life, he says this is a crucial point for him to get closure.
That young man took the best person I had ever met away from me. I don't care why, but I want to look him in the face when he faces justice.
Thompson is expected in court for a hearing at 2:30 this afternoon. WRAL will be there. Today, more witnesses will take the stand in the double murder trial of Isaiah Ross in Orange County. Yesterday, a witness testified that Woods confessed to him about killing Lyric Woods and Devin Clark. Christian Sykes recalled his conversation with Ross over a Snapchat video call. He said Ross explained Clark was playing with a gun, pointing it at him.
And he told him to stop. And he said the third time he went for the gun, they wrestled for the gun. And I don't remember exactly if he said the gun went off, but I do know he said that he shot them and dumped the bodies.
Relationship.
The state expects to call its final 2 witnesses to the stand today. You can watch the trial live on WRAL.com. Today's testimony will start at 9:30. Due to the possibility of winter weather this weekend, Ravenscroft School in Raleigh has canceled their Celebration of Life event for Zoe Welsh. Welsh was a teacher at the school who was attacked in her home during a break-in last month. She died at the hospital. The event has been rescheduled to February 3rd at the Jones Theater. Doors will open at 2:15. The event will start at 3 p.m. A group of Buddhist monks on a 2,300-mile walk for peace will make their way closer to our area today. We captured them on day 87 of their journey to the nation's capital, walking through Greensboro yesterday. Today, they will head from the town of Climax toward Siler City. This map on your screen shows you their route. We spoke to members of the crowd who travel cross-country or even overseas to witness this cross-country movement.
From Anchorage, Alaska, knowing that what they're about is not trying to sell or it's just pause and think about peace and serenity and that kind of thing.
Here's another look at the map of the monks' route today. The Chatham County Sheriff's Office is telling drivers to be mindful of increased pedestrian traffic on US 421 and 64. If you are stopping to see the monks as they arrive, you are asked not to park along the highway or road shoulders. WRAL will keep you informed of the monks' route, arrival times, any public events, and any impacts from the incoming winter weather as they get closer here. Keep up to date on WRAL News and on all our digital platforms. NC State men's basketball is bouncing back, taking down Clemson in an overtime thriller. The Wolfpack led in the first half, but the Tigers closed the gap to 5 at halftime. NC State kept their foot on the gas in OT and took down the number 18 ranked team in the country, 80-76. They stay on the road to play Pitt Saturday at noon. Tonight, UNC will host Notre Dame in Chapel Hill. The Tar Heels are looking to get back in the win column after losing 2 games in a row. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. Eligibility concerns. People in Wilson County are wondering whether a sheriff candidate should be able to run, why his political affiliation is coming into question now. And helping you stay warm, how you can get a free winter coat if you live in Wake County. You're looking live at Pittsboro this morning. It is frigid now, but we are dry, and that changes this weekend when a winter storm moves into North Carolina. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner breaks down where we can expect snow and ice.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
It is 4:43 and it is Wednesday, so we do have the tower lit in pink. Of course, we do that for breast cancer awareness, and you want to make sure that you're always staying up to date with your doctor's visits and just taking good care of yourself every day. Let's take a look at what's happening. Of course, we're nice and clear. It's cold out there. The temperatures are on the left, and on the right is the wind chill. So we're looking at 20s and teens in most places. Feels like 15 in Fayetteville, 19 in the Triangle. It feels like 18 up in Roxborough and 17 in South Hill. Feels like 20 in Southern Pines. Temperatures are running a little bit colder than they were this time yesterday, and there's just a little bit of a light wind. So teens this morning heading out the door. You know, if you're one of those folks who likes to get out and run early in the morning, it's going to be especially chilly. But this afternoon feels milder, closer to normal with a high around 50.
Elizabeth, thank you. Right now, the National Park Service is working to find a missing man. Take a look at your screen. This is 39-year-old Chris Palmer. It's been nearly 2 weeks since his family last heard from him. On January 12th, National Park Service rangers found Palmer's truck on the beach at Cape Hatteras National Seashore. Officials believe Palmer is with his German Shepherd and could still be in the area. If you see him or know where he could be, call the National Park Service tip line at 888-653-0009. A Wake County School Board member says she was diagnosed with cancer and is recovering after surgery. Toshiba Rice represents part of East and Southeast Raleigh and part of Knightdale. Tonight, she called in virtually to the school board meeting last night and said the cancer had been surgically removed. Rice has canceled appearances and meetings since her diagnosis, but plans to resume them on March 1st. Enrollment is reopening to new families at 5 Wake County schools. The school board approved a proposal to lift what are called enrollment caps at these 5 schools. Those caps prevent families who are new to the attendance zone from enrolling. They're designed to stop overcrowding. The school board also approved adding a cap in a fast-growing East Wake area. Let's take a live look at North Hills and Raleigh right now, where it is official. The skyline there will be changing. The Raleigh City Council approved the zoning request that clears the way for more giant towers there. Kane Realty will build 4 towers around Six Forks and Lassiter Mill Roads. Those buildings could be as high as 37 stories. The developer says they will be the tallest in all of Raleigh. Kane has been trying to get a proposal like this approved for years. This all comes despite opposition from the surrounding community. A Wilson County man can still run for sheriff after being blocked from the ballot over what officials call a clerical error. Republican sheriff candidate Bobby Knight says he accidentally changed his party registration while updating his voter registration address last month. Knight says he corrected the mistake within a few hours. State elections rules state that candidates cannot change their party affiliation 90 days before the election. Knight's lawyer says it was a case of fat fingers, but his challengers say it's not enough.
Even if we believed what Mr. Knight says about fat fingering, it doesn't matter. The statute doesn't say 90 days unless there's a good excuse. It says it's 90 days, period.
2 Democrats who voted to remove Knight say they are worried that this action will open up doors for other candidates to appeal county rulings and go against state law. The coats donated during our Coats for the Children campaign will now help keep the community warm. Today, the Salvation Army of Wake County is holding a winter coat giveaway. It is from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Center of Hope on Capitol Boulevard in Raleigh. Adults just bring a photo ID and proof of Wake County residency. For children, bring their birth certificate, social security card, school ID, immunization record, or Medicaid card to get that coat. And those coats will certainly come in handy all week and for this weekend, as we are expecting some cold weather. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, and a cold start to begin with today. Elizabeth.
Yeah, really cold out there this morning. Our temperatures are feeling like teens almost everywhere with that wind chill. Of course, both Saturday and Sunday will be weather alert days with a potentially major winter storm heading our way. All the things that you've ever heard of or experienced in a winter storm, we could experience with this one. We could definitely have limited travel potential once we get into Saturday, Sunday, and maybe even into early next week as well. So we'll have potentially in some parts of the viewing area accumulating snow. We'll also have the potential for ice, and almost everybody has that chance to see icy conditions with freezing rain and power outages, and then near record temperatures as we get through, say, Sunday, Monday, even into Tuesday. So this is a look at our winter weather tracker, definitely looking at Saturday and Sunday as the times when we will have a significant winter storm likely. Let's talk about what we could see. It will likely be a long duration storm. So it's going to start during the day on Saturday, continue into Sunday, but then the cold air, bitterly cold air, lingers well into next week. So accumulating snow, ice that can cause power outages. It will all depend on the track. And I'll tell you, you hear us talk about the American model and the European model, and they are pretty much at opposites in terms of what's going to happen. But certainly we have the potential for snow and freezing rain, and that freezing rain you just have to take so seriously because power outages with this cold will be very, very dangerous. So by tomorrow, we're going to be talking a little bit more about the timing, what kind of precipitation you may see. We're going to break it down just in this map to start with. The blue or the light blue shaded area is where it's likely to be mostly snow with maybe a little bit of freezing rain mixed in. It's likely to be a snow and freezing rain mix for most of the viewing area, maybe leaning toward a little bit more snow accumulation from Raleigh northward, and then very little snow and mostly freezing rain for our southern counties. So what to do now? Continue to check in with us. Download our WRAL weather app. You can look at videos and graphics, and we'll be telling you everything that we know. Consider your weekend plans. You may need to change them, cancel them, and then be prepared for power outages, whatever that means for you. Pittsburgh is nice and clear this morning, but cold. 25 degrees, a light wind out of the southeast at 5 miles per hour. So it feels like teens almost everywhere with the wind chill. It's 20 in Southern Pines. It's 18 in Roxborough, 17 in South Hill. So it's a very cold start. We'll get a bit of a warm up this afternoon and into tomorrow. And then we see the Arctic blast that rolls in, and it is going to stay with us well into next week. Tuesday, Wednesday. It's going to be a while before we can warm things up. 52 is our normal high. If you need to get out, maybe do some preps. Tomorrow is going to be a great day for that. We'll see 61 degrees. And then our temperatures for highs are going to be in the 30s, and our overnight lows as we get into Sunday and Monday will be in the teens and possibly even some close to single digits. Look at this, 15 on Tuesday morning and on Wednesday morning. Coming up, we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the totals that we could see.
Elizabeth, thank you. Netflix raising the stakes. The streaming platform's new offer to own Warner Brothers Discovery. Plus, history on tour. Historical documents will travel across the U.S. in honor of America's 250th anniversary, where you can get a look at the relics. Netflix is working to put an end to the bid for Warner Brothers Discovery. Netflix says it will still pay $72 billion, but in all cash instead of a mix with stocks. The company has been competing with Paramount to buy Warner Brothers, but it appears to have won that battle. The deal is expected to close 12 to 18 months after the merger agreement is signed. This year's Grammys will have a side of espresso and a new high-stakes thriller available on Prime Video. Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
Sabrina Carpenter is returning as a performer at this year's Grammy Awards. She's up for 6 trophies, 4 of them including Song and Record of the Year for Man-Child. Carpenter's first Grammys performance was last year when she won 2 trophies. The 68th Grammy Awards take place February 1st.
Tell us what you know. Or what? MI5 can kill you and make it look like a stroke.
Steel is a tense, high-stakes thriller, but Archie Madekwe says star Sophie Turner kept things lighthearted on set.
Sophie did a great job of that because you're inside, you're in a studio, you're having no natural daylight, and every morning Sophie would come in, whoa, with a big speaker. Come on, guys, let's get it going.
You also mentioned that as well.
And so she did a really good job of like keeping morale up and like making everybody feel just excited to be at work.
All 6 episodes of Steel are now streaming on Prime Video. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniels.
Cities across the U.S. are getting a new look at history in honor of America's 250th birthday. A collection of at least 10 documents from the National Archives is going on tour. The items are relics from early American history, such as George Washington's signed oath of allegiance to the Continental Army and the Treaty of Paris. A 737 called the Freedom Plane will take them to several U.S. cities, including Atlanta, Houston, and Los Angeles. 4:57 on your Wednesday morning. Ahead at 5, potential power outages. Duke Energy is preparing ahead of this possible winter storm, how they're working to make sure your power stays on. Today, the suspect in the 2022 Hedingham shooting is expected to plead guilty. What we know as the court case is nearing an end.